Hi, I'm Ashley, and today I'm going to share my application of the health belief model to my learning for this week's lesson. The health belief model construct that I'm focusing on is called perceived barriers. In the context of the conflict resolution, the win-win strategy lesson, perceived barriers means identifying obstacles that prevent me from resolving conflicts, such as fear of confrontation or lack of assertive communication skills. This activity requires me to identify my perceived barriers and develop strategies to overcome them. The first reflection question is, what fears or discomforts do you have about addressing conflicts? So for me, I struggle with being honest about my feelings. Sometimes I feel afraid that being honest will disappoint someone. The people pleaser in me wants to keep everybody else happy, even at the expense of my own comfort. An example of this is when I had a conflict with a friend after I couldn't attend her 30th birthday party. I was so scared to tell her that I couldn't make it that I avoided the conversation entirely and just didn't show up. We ended up not talking for a few months after that. I had a lot of fear around disappointing her, and it made addressing the conflict that much harder. Eventually, we resolved things, but the experience showed me how my fear of confrontation can become a barrier to effective and respectful communication. The second reflection question is, do you avoid conflict because you feel you lack the right communication skills? This is very true for me. Sometimes I get defensive or practice avoidance when dealing with conflict because it's hard for me to manage my emotions in the moment. Being accountable can be difficult, especially when emotional triggers make me feel defensive or anxious. It's hard to just pause and recognize that my ego is beginning to influence my reactions. The third reflection prompt is, what strategies can you use to overcome these barriers and improve your conflict resolution skills? One strategy is accepting that my feelings are valid. It's normal to feel disappointed when you can't meet others' expectations, but I need to recognize my emotions rather than letting them control my reactions. I also think that giving myself time to process is really important. Stepping back to gather my thoughts can help me respond instead of react. It's helpful to remember that disappointment usually softens over time, and especially if you get a little perspective. The final reflection prompt is, how can you use the win-win strategies to help others engage in this approach with you? So I think I can use empathy and collaboration to create a win-win environment. Choosing collaboration over competition helps build stronger connections, and I think that working together always leads to better outcomes. Practicing gratitude is also really important. Focusing on what went well and what was gained, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. And finally, learning from each experience can make future conflicts a lot easier. Reflecting on what could have gone differently helps me communicate more effectively the next time. Thank you for joining me as I model this process, and good luck with your reflections.